Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about post-traumatic stress disorder, otherwise known as PTSD. So let's get into it. First off, what does PTSD stand for? Well, the D stands for disorder, but not just any kind of disorder. It's a mental disorder. The P stands for post, meaning after or behind, and T stands for traumatic. So put together, you get post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a mental health condition triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it in person. But again, it's important to note that this isn't just one single event. This can be a series of events. For example, being in an abusive relationship for several years would definitely count because it is a series of traumatic events happening over time. PTSD is more than just having bad memories of what happened. These memories can come flooding back in the form of flashbacks, nightmares, and intrusive thoughts. People with PTSD may also have trouble with their relationships and with staying focused on daily tasks. They may feel constantly on edge and have difficulty controlling their emotions. And even though there are treatments available that can be very effective, PTSD is one of the most common mental disorders that goes untreated. In fact, according to the American Psychological Association, only 29% of people who experience a traumatic event will develop PTSD at some point in their lives. And that's why it is so important to know the signs and symptoms of PTSD and to seek help if you think you might have it. So, what exactly are those signs and symptoms of PTSD? Well, let's find out. Number 1, re-experiencing the trauma. So, re-experiencing the trauma comes in many forms, such as flashbacks, where you feel like you're reliving the event. You might see the same locations that you saw when the event took place, or smell the same smells, or hear the same sounds that were around during the event. You might even feel physical sensations that you felt during the traumatic event. Nightmares are also a big one. According to Healthline, nightmares are vivid, disturbing dreams about the traumatic event or something related to it. They often make you feel very anxious, and you might wake up suddenly from them. Another way that people re-experience their trauma is through intrusive thoughts. These are unwanted, distressing thoughts that pop into your head and replay the traumatic event over and over again. These thoughts can be extremely difficult to control and can cause you to become obsessed with the event. Another sign that someone is re-experiencing their trauma is if they start avoiding reminders of the event. This could include people, places, things, activities, or even feelings that remind you of the traumatic event. Some people might also feel physical symptoms when they are reminded of the traumatic event. These symptoms could be sweating, nausea, heart palpitations, and even pain. Number 2, avoiding thinking or talking about the event. So we touched on this last one, avoiding reminders of the event, but here we're talking about actively trying to push the event out of your mind. Someone with PTSD might try to avoid thinking about the traumatic event altogether. They may feel ashamed, embarrassed, or scared to remember the event. And they may feel uncomfortable talking about it too. Number 3, negative thoughts and feelings. So people with PTSD may have negative thoughts and feelings about themselves, others, and the world around them. They may feel detached from others and struggle to trust people. They may also feel hopeless, helpless, or even blame themselves for the traumatic event. A lot of people who have PTSD also have difficulty feeling positive emotions like joy, happiness, and love. They may feel numb or emotionally detached and have trouble enjoying things that they used to enjoy before the event. Number 4, changes in how you feel and act. So people with PTSD may also experience changes in how they feel and act. They may become easily startled or jumpy. They may also feel constantly on edge, like they're waiting for something bad to happen. As a result, they might be very reactive and may respond to small things in a big way. For example, they may overreact to loud noises, sudden movements, or unexpected questions. And they might also have difficulty concentrating, remembering things, and making decisions. They may also have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, and they may use alcohol or drugs to help them cope with their symptoms. Additionally, people with PTSD may self-injure, either by accident or on purpose, to try to relieve emotional pain. Number 5. Strong reactions to things that remind you of the trauma. So, we've mentioned earlier how people with PTSD might avoid things that remind them of their trauma. But it can go both ways. Some people may actually become hyperfixated on their trauma and become overly focused on things that remind them of it. These strong reactions can be both positive and negative. For example, they may feel compelled to research their trauma or the people involved in it. They may also feel angry and lash out at others. They may feel desperate to understand the why of the event. They may feel fear or anxiety when reminded of the event. They may cry, panic, or have flashbacks. And number 6, emotional numbness. So we've talked a little bit about how people with PTSD may feel negative emotions, but they can also feel the opposite, no emotions at all. This emotional numbness can affect all areas of your life, including your relationships, work, and school. You may feel like you're going through the motions and not really living in the moment. You may feel disconnected from yourself and others and feel like you're not really there. Sometimes people with PTSD develop this emotional numbness as a way to cope with their trauma. By disconnecting from their emotions, they can avoid the pain and suffering associated with the event. However, this can be a maladaptive strategy because it prevents them from fully experiencing life and moving on from their trauma. We hope that we've helped you to better understand post-traumatic stress disorder. If you're struggling with PTSD, please know that you're not alone and that help is available. There are treatments that can be very effective in reducing your symptoms and helping you move forward with your life. So don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health professional today. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced PTSD? What did it feel like for you? How did you overcome it? Leave me a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to give it a like and share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.